I love the way Turki Alalshikh is talking right now. I love it. I love the way he's moving. I love the fights we're getting made. Conor Ben, Chris Eubank Jr. I've already done a video on that. I just love the way he's talking. And the fights that he proposed on his TalkSpot. I watched his TalkSpot interview this morning, and the fights that he mentioned, I was like, yes, please, yes, sir. Let's see them. And when you hear somebody back in the day 10 years ago, when you heard promoters say, I want to make this fight, you're almost thinking, yeah, whatever, we need to see them in the ring before we believe that fight's happening. But it's almost like when Turki Alalshikh talks and he mentions a fight, you can get excited about it because you can almost guarantee that fight is going to happen. Let's rewind back to October 23 when Fury fought Ngannou. Now, from that date to now, who would have thought we would have seen the fights that we've seen right now? Usyk, Fury twice, Joshua Dubois coming world champion, Beterbiev Bivol, the 5v5, Nick Ball becoming world champion, guys like Hamza Shiraz getting his opportunity to win a world title, Callum Smith versus Joshua Buatsi, Crawford talks of him fighting Canelo in September, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney is a done deal. Turki Alalshikh said in an interview in TalkSport this morning. Like, who would have thought we would be in this situation in boxing? I mean, I guarantee if Turki Alalshikh was around 20 years ago and he was still on today, we would have got Kawasaki Froch. We would have got Mayweather Pacquiao way before they fought. We would have got Lennox Lewis versus Riddick Bowe. We would have got these fights, and I love the way he's talking and the fact that he said as well that fighters should stop caring about the zero and be more like the UFC, because the UFC champions, they don't care about their zero, and look, they've lost, and the UFC puts them back in another great fight. So I think that's worth fighters thinking about, because fighters of the past spent you're talking about what, Muhammad Ali, Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Hagler, Hearns, Duran, Foreman, all these great fighters, they all lost, but they're still legends of the sport, and I love that. The Mayweather effect, or the Mayweather era, was Mayweather being the businessman and being a smart fighter. He marketed himself on that zero. That zero, he marketed himself on that, meaning that fans would tune in to watch Mayweather get beat, because they'll be on the edge of the seat, because he was smart. He would not fight fighters in their prime when they're coming up. Canelo was too young, they said, and there was a weight rehydration on that one. Pacquiao was past his prime. Cotto was past his prime. Yeah, we know. And got to give Mayweather all the credit in the world. He marketed himself on that zero, and he made, let's say, $1 billion, whatever it was that he made. Even the Conor McGregor fight, whether it's a gimmick fight or what, he marketed that zero so well that people tuned in for him to get beat, to watch him get beat. And I love the way Turki Alalshikh has said, stop caring about that zero. If you're in a good fight, we'll put you back in. Just keep fighting. Stop worrying about losses. And I like that. Because what, Marciano, Kawasaki, Mayweather, the three that come to mind straight off the bat, three boxers in the history of the sport. There's probably another one in there that I forgot. Some historian buff will probably let me know. But look how many boxers have there been, and how many finished their career unbeaten at the highest level, at that world champion highest level. Not many. So I love the way he's talking. And the interview this morning, the fights that he proposed, I loved every single fight that he proposed. He proposed Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Why not? I love it. I love that fight. Because it's a fight that's been talked about for 5-6 years. They've probably lost their, what's the word I'm looking for? They've probably lost that danger, that the fear factor. Like, are people still scared of Deontay Wilder's right hand? Is Anthony Joshua still that force after getting knocked out by Andy Ruiz, getting beat by Usyk, getting knocked out by Daniel Dubois? Is Anthony Joshua still that menacing force that he was before the Ruiz loss? We'll find out. And I love the Wilder fight, the Bakole fight, Anthony Joshua in Africa against Martin Bakole. Why not? That is a fantastic fight. I love it. I absolutely love that fight. The one fight I made a video was Inoue versus Nick Ball. I made a video and I was speaking to folk in the comments, and they were saying that fight's not going to get made. Inoue can't go up to featherweight, and I think Inoue's the type of fighter that can go up to featherweight. It's only £4 from super bantamweight, 122 to 126. I mean, Inoue's the type of fighter where he can do that because of his. Look what he's ran through bantamweight, he's ran through super bantamweight, and sometimes a great fighter that when he comes unstuck is when he steps up that weight division. A good big fighter always beats a good little fighter. Let's say maybe Usyk's the exception on this one, but the Nick Ball fight and the Inoue fight just excites me. Really, really excites me. You've got two tenacious, come forward, spiteful little guys that can fight and they'll go put on a show. And when His Excellency Turki Alalshikh mentioned that fight, man, I'm like, like I said to you, when he says he wants a fight, you can almost guarantee that fight gets made, and I love it. What other fight? He said Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia is a done deal. Love that fight again because of the animosity, the hatred between the two fighters. The build-up's going to be great. There's a 5v5 versus Hearn versus Warren again. It is great. I mean, boxing right now, he wants to see Moses Atalma against Usyk if the timing is right, which I don't think will happen, but why not Moses Atalma against Kubrat Pulev? He holds a WBA regular title. But who knows, man? We might even get Daniel Dubois versus Moses Atalma at some point because you've got two young British heavyweights. And I still call Daniel Dubois young because, what's he, 27 years old? That's a young heavyweight. So yeah, His Excellency Turki Alalshikh, he might have his detractors that say, oh, all the big shows are in Saudi Arabia and they should be here in the UK or they should cater to the US market. But there's no monopoly on boxing. And I've been out in Saudi Arabia a couple of times, and where they have the press conferences and the weigh-ins is in this big, huge theme park called Boulevard World. So if you ever get the opportunity, go out there and experience a fight week out there. There's so much to do. The food's great, and Boulevard World, like I say, is a big, huge theme park where the press conferences and weigh-in, and the Kingdom Arena where they have the fights is just across the road. So, yeah, listen, I want to see all the British fighters fighting, Brennan. But it's life, man. You're not going to get it. And the way Turkey is saying, the way he's talking about fights and how big 2025 is going to be, we're in for a treat. Trust me. Let me know what your thoughts are. You know what to do. Leave a comment. Let's engage. I always try and get back to all the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you can. I'm trying to be a nerd and be like these YouTubers, like subscribe and all this nonsense. But if you could subscribe, that would help. If you could leave a comment, that would help as well, because I would engage. I like to get back to everybody that comments because I like to get a dialogue and see if I'm waffling crap or I'm actually talking some sense. You let me know. But yeah, what do you think of Turki Alalshikh? Good for boxing? Because I think he is.